no matter who you are, you need to work unbelievable hard. I think you need to study the game massively to understand it in every aspect of the game. How can you say, both learn but also find what is your principles in every aspect.
We've got Troy Deeney in the house, a Watford legend who I know you're very familiar with. So before we even start, I want to get your scouting report on Troy Deeney.
Oh, God. Be nice, please, Thomas.
Troy was a fantastic striker in many, many ways. I think he was very good in the box, great finisher, used his body well. So, and I think had a great career.
Oh, thank you. That was a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. Thank you.
What did you think it was going to be, Troy?
We had some battles. And we obviously both got promoted as well the same year. So I remember, we played at Vicarage Road, 1-1 draw. I scored and Ivan Toney scored. But a game that was settled on penalties.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good game.
Good game.
But an excellent person, that's all that matters.
Good game.
You are an excellent person, I think, on and off the pitch, from what I've seen, Thomas. But you're 3 wins away from the club's first top-flight trophy. What would it mean for you and Brentford?
That would mean fantastic. That would be fantastic in any way. I think the journey we've been on has been fantastic the last 6-7 years, and now it's our 4th season in the Premier League. The next thing for me is if we could be that privileged and good and lucky. Probably also need a little bit of luck to go all the way and win something. That would be big. Said it from the beginning of this tournament that we would like to go as far as possible, and the furthest we can go is to lift the trophy. We're very aware that we are facing a very good team tomorrow night, and that's the first challenge we need to get by.
I was at the game last week when you played them at your place, doing that for TalkSport, and it was probably the best game of football I've ever seen. From a coaching point of view, I thought attacking-wise it was 2 really good teams, and defensively it was like, oh my God, there's loads to fix, but how entertaining is this to watch? How do you continue to have that at home, but that kind of ethos of go to score more, but away from home you've kind of struggled this year, haven't you?
Yeah, I think the big thing, if you start the positive first, is that not only at home, but I think in general offensively, we've added some layers this season. In some games, including the Newcastle game, we played actually basically with 5 wingers, strikers on the pitch, including 1 winger, converted this moment in time to left back in Keane Lewis Potter. So a few principles and a few tweaks. So we look very dangerous, which is. It's very good. The last 3 years in the Premier League, maybe except last year, but that was injury concerns or a reason behind conceding too many goals. I think actually we've been extremely good defensively. So I don't know if because we open up a little bit too much or exactly what it is, but can we nail that down? Then I also think we're closer to win away from home, and hopefully that's tomorrow.
What do you think makes a successful coach in the Premier League? And why do you think English coaches in particular, maybe ones that you've faced off against, haven't been successful or given the opportunity?
I think as we start with a successful coach, I think there's a lot of things going into that. I think no matter who you are, you need to work unbelievable hard. I think you need to study the game massively. To understand it in every aspect of the game, how can you say, both learn but also find what is your principles in every aspect of the game. So the 4 phases offensively, the 4 phases defensively, and then of course is that consistency to keep going, because there's a lot of setbacks in this world. And the 4th thing, you need to keep learning. That's about your leadership, your man management, the coaching. Everything. I think that's the 4 things, and I think that's the same no matter if you are Danish like me or you are an English coach. The reason why there's maybe not maybe enough English coaches, I don't know exactly why that is. I just think Premier League and actually also Championship is so global, especially Premier League. It is the best league in the world that just demands the best coaches in the competition is so big in so many ways, and I don't know exactly why, but it seems like there's some countries have had a head start over England, but I think they're getting closer and closer. I see some fantastic English coaches right now.
Thomas, I just want to say thank you for that, because you've just said everything that I said 10 minutes ago. So I just want to say thank you for that on a personal level.
But we agreed on that. I remember that you texted me. So
yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, listen, don't let them know that I'm trying to get a job. Just looking back from talking about yourself, I know you don't like to do it too often, but I think the way you've got Brentford promoted in 2021, obviously with us as well at Watford, and the way you've adjusted your team. You had Ivan Toney, who was obviously a big focal point, an excellent player, but you played to your strengths when you got into the Premier League, and now you've had to adjust and, as you say, tweak, sometimes playing 5 wingers at times. How has that been easy for you to not come away from your principles, but to understand, right, these are the players that I have now? We see, without going into names and clubs, a lot of people trying to put square pegs in round holes, I would say.
Yeah. I think my principles are a little bit the same, no matter if I play with a 4 or 5, a back 4, back 5, let's say that. Then it's just, how can you say, it's how I defend the box. I know exactly how I do that with a 4 or 5, just as an example. Mm-hmm. But it's also how open do I want it to be in the first year or 2 in the Premier League, because I just looked at that league and thought, okay, this is the best league in the world. We're facing, on paper, teams that are better than us, definitely 17 of them, with all due respect to the 2 teams that got promoted with us. I thought we were more even, not that we were better.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So I knew that 3 things: we need to be unbelievably good defensively, high pressure, middle pressure, low pressure, 1v1 situations. Set pieces we had to be top at, and then physical, we need to be able to play with a top intensity. Those are the 3 go-to things, the foundation. And of course, on top of that, we added, how can we build up sometimes? How can we break through and all that? But the 3 things, non-negotiable, to make sure that we could be an asset to the league.
Well, what about your man management? Because to me, Thomas, it seems like it's superb. Dealing with a player like Ivan Toney and all the noise and all the comments from media, maybe players alike, and to be able to handle that situation with such class, I think it is so admirable. If you're a coach, a fellow coach watching you, one of your colleagues, to say, man, this is probably the example of handling a player who probably wants to take another step in their career, but at the same time, he's so essential to your success.
I think actually, in general, if a player plays all the games, it's relatively easy. Because that's the only way where we can get a little bit annoyed with each other. Or mainly the players would be angry if I don't pick them. So he played a lot of our games and were a key player. But Ivan is also, you look at him and he got that big presence, and he's a fantastic and a big personality. But people underestimate or don't understand how big a team player he is. Mm-hmm. How well he set up his teammates. Of course you want to score a goal. If you ask him if you want to score a goal, make an assist. Of course you want to score. But he always, if the teammate was in a better position, he slide him in and try to make him good. He was fantastic around the training ground. So that sense, it was okay, easy for me. But I was also clear in what I wanted for him. In terms of how we defend and how we press and how hard we work. And then I praised him when he did that, both directly one-to-one, but also in front of the team, of course, and not only him, also other players, just as an example. And then, of course, the bigger personalities, you just know you need to check in with them a little bit more often and just be around them. I think that's and keep them on track, I think.
Hey, Thomas, I'm tired of talking about Ivan. I'm sure you are as well. So we'll put him to bed now. I want to talk about Mbeumo and Avisa, the 2 players who were probably considered the complementary pieces to Toney, and they've stepped on unbelievably this year. How do you keep turning around these guys and keep progressing and saying, who's going to be number 1? Because at the moment it feels like they're both ones, if you get what I mean.
1A,
Normally you have a
1B.
one and a two. Yeah, you got a 1A and a 1B. But again, I was at the game against Newcastle. They caused problems all day.
Yeah. Yeah, but they big credit to the both of them. I think they've taken some fantastic step forward. As you guys know, when a big personality, a big player is leaving the club, you know, the sun will shine a little bit more on the rest. And I think that's part of their development. I think, let's take Brian, he's been here, I think this is 6th season here. And he's just been taking steps every year. We're still the same, taking steps every year. And then the way we play, the guiding principles for how we want to get into the box, how we want to go in our transitions, how we try to produce chances, that is fitting these two players. And then big credit to them, they've been performing well. But I think it's quite remarkable that we are a minor club and we have two players who scored 10 and 9 goals in the Premier League. That's